Time will tell. I hope there isn't any foul play on Rock's side. There's obviously some foul play because we got a man dead.
For years, the internet has been obsessed with the chaotic relationship between Chrisean Rock and rapper Blueface. Their relationship constantly went viral. Fights, breakups, emotional live streams, and reality TV moments kept fans watching. To many people, it looked like toxic entertainment that somehow kept escalating. But behind the cameras and social media drama, there was another man whose name rarely made the headlines, a young man from Baltimore named Ronnie Doe. According to various reports and discussions that circulated online, Ronnie had been publicly claiming something that could completely change the story everyone thought they knew. He believed he was the real father of Chrisean's child, and he wanted a legitimate DNA test to prove it. Unlike the celebrity lifestyle surrounding Chrisean and Blueface, Ronnie was not involved in the entertainment industry. He wasn't chasing fame or clout. Friends and people who followed the situation described him as someone who genuinely cared about Chrisean and believed the child was his. Over time, Ronnie began speaking more openly about it on social media. In live streams and posts, he repeatedly asked for one thing: a real DNA test conducted through proper channels. According to what circulated online, he said if the test proved the child wasn't his, he would accept it and move on. But if the test proved he was the father, he wanted to be recognized and have the chance to be part of his child's life. To him, this wasn't internet drama. It was about responsibility and fatherhood. As the conversation around paternity grew louder, people online started analyzing timelines and details from the past. Some observers began questioning whether the timeline of the pregnancy completely matched the narrative that Blueface was the father. Others pointed to the first DNA test that was shown publicly and raised questions about whether it followed standard procedures. Online commentators claimed the paperwork looked unusual and suggested the test might not have been handled in the most official way. Even Blueface later hinted in posts that he wasn't entirely convinced by the original results at the time. These discussions only fueled more speculation and pushed the situation further into the spotlight. While the internet debated what was true and what was rumor, Ronnie continued pushing for another test that would finally settle the issue once and for all. But before that could happen, something tragic occurred that completely changed the story. On February 3, 2025, reports began spreading that Ronnie Doe had been shot and killed outside his home. Authorities reportedly treated the case as a homicide and suggested early on that it appeared to be a targeted incident rather than a random act of violence. That single detail immediately caused people online to start connecting the tragedy to the ongoing paternity dispute. For many observers, the timing felt extremely suspicious. Ronnie had been openly demanding a DNA test and speaking publicly about the situation. Then, suddenly, before any final legal proof could emerge, he lost his life. Naturally, speculation began spreading across social media platforms. Some people believed it was simply a tragic crime unrelated to the dispute. Others wondered whether someone might have wanted to stop the truth from coming out. The internet quickly filled with theories, discussions, and heated debates about what really happened. As the case gained attention, reports began circulating that federal authorities were looking into aspects of the investigation. Situations involving possible conspiracies or coordination across different locations sometimes attract federal attention, especially if investigators believe there could be more people involved. Discussions online mentioned that the Federal Bureau of Investigation could potentially examine evidence such as phone records, digital messages, and social media activity connected to people close to the situation. If investigators ever found evidence suggesting a coordinated plot, the case could involve extremely serious charges. However, it's important to note that much of what circulated online remains speculation and has not been proven in court. The situation became even more controversial when comments from Chrisean's own family began circulating online. During a podcast interview that spread across social media, one of her sisters made statements that many viewers interpreted as troubling. She didn't directly accuse anyone, but she hinted that the circumstances surrounding Ronnie's death didn't look good for certain people connected to the situation. Her words were careful and vague, but they immediately sparked another wave of speculation. Some viewers believed she was implying she knew more than she was willing to say publicly. Others believed her comments were simply reactions to the rumors that were already spreading. Then, the story took another unexpected turn when a later DNA test reportedly confirmed something that surprised many people following the situation. According to statements that circulated online, a more formal DNA test showed that Blueface was not the biological father of the child. For people who had been watching the story unfold, that revelation brought the conversation back to Ronnie once again. The man who had been pleading for a DNA test might have been telling the truth all along, but tragically, he was no longer alive to see the result or claim the recognition he had been fighting for. Today, the case still raises many unanswered questions. Was Ronnie's death a completely unrelated crime that happened at the same time as the paternity dispute? Or could investigators eventually uncover evidence that reveals a deeper story behind what happened? Until authorities complete their investigation and courts examine the facts, much of what people discuss online remains allegations and speculation rather than proven truth. What makes the situation even more heartbreaking is that a child now sits at the center of a story filled with controversy, rumors, and tragedy. As he grows up, he may one day learn about the complicated circumstances surrounding the man who believed he was his father. For now, the investigation and public discussion continue, and many people are waiting to see what new information might eventually come to light. Stories like this remind everyone how quickly internet drama can turn into something far more serious. What do you think about this situation? Do you believe the full truth will eventually come out, or do you think the internet has already jumped too far ahead of the facts? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned as more details about this developing story continue to emerge.